最も大きな、目指すべき市場と、考えられてはいるものの、ファーストステップで、米国を目指すとなると大きな、リスクが伴い、道半ばで、資金だったりとか、リソースが、ショートしてしまうというケースを、多く、見てきておりました。そういった課題に対し、オーストラリアですとか、英国、欧州など、人種の分布はアメリカに近しく、よりコスト面や制度面で参入障壁が低い市場をゲートウェイとして捉える考え方が徐々に広まりつつあります。英国市場は、保険制度が日本と近しいシングルペイヤーであることだったり、また、ケンブリッジや、オックスフォードをはじめとするトップクラスのアカデミア連携や研究開発拠点として優秀な人材や基盤を持っておりまして、そういった、これまでの動きを捉えて、今回、メドテック、デジタルヘルステックのスタートアップの海外、英国進出を支援するアクセラレーションプログラムを実施させていただくことになりました。そういったところがありまして、本日のセミナーでは、プログラムの連携先である、ロンドンインスティチュート・フォー・ヘルスケア・エンジニアリングの、バレンティーナさんから、支援プログラムのご説明と、そして英国総領事館の川南様より、英国市場の概要や機会についてご説明いただきます。各セッションの最後に時間が許せば Q&A の時間もご用意しておりますので、ご質問のある方は気軽にチャットにコメントいただければ幸いです。このセミナーとアクセラプログラムを通じて、英国欧州の市場制度を理解し、事業展開の可能性を見極めていただく機会になればと思っております。方ではございますが、冒頭のご挨拶と、させていただいて、早速 StarX のプログラム紹介の方にちょっと移らせていただければと思います。ここからはですね、まず私から最初に、簡単に全体の概要と、なんていうんですかね、気になっているポイントというか、をご説明させていただいた後、来賓の、バレンティーナさんにバトンタッチをして、プログラム詳細のご説明をさせていただく流れとさせていただきます。はい。コース概要に関してですが、目的は、フェーズ1では、本プログラムフェーズ1とフェーズ2の2部構成になっておりまして、フェーズ1ではスタートアップが英国及び欧州市場の理解を深めて、国際展開のためのビジネス基盤を構築する。フェーズ2においては、市場参入する段階に到達するための準備期間として、顧社支援として、足がかりを具体的に形成するというところになります。派遣先は、英国、ロンドン中心を、予定しております。今度は対象は、見ていただいてと思います。で、プログラムの構成としましては、フェーズ1が英国市場の理解というところにフォーカスした内容、フェーズ2が市場参入戦略構築というところにフォーカスした内容になっております。フェーズ2、フェーズ1のみの参加も可能になります。また、フェーズ1の渡航については任意となりますので、申し込みフォームの際にご希望をお知らせいただければと思います。ただし、フェーズ2への参加もご希望される方については、フェーズ1の渡航は必須となりますので、その点ご理解いただければと思います。パートナーはロンドンインスティチュート・フォー・ヘルスケア・エンジニアリング、来賓と、呼ばせていただきますが、となっています。ロンドンのセント・トーマス・ホスピタルキャンパス内に拠点を構えるアクセラレーターで、医療系スタートアップが市場にアクセスするための実践的な支援を提供している強力なアクセラレーターと今回組んでプログラムをやらせていただきます。簡単に、スケジュールのところをお伝えさせていただくと、4月から5月の25日まで参加者を募集させていただいて、6月の上旬に面接がある場合は面接、その後、6月下旬頃に採択結果通知となります。プログラムの開始は東京オンサイトプログラムから、スタートいたしまして、こちらは7月13日と14日の2日間を予定しております。東京のジェトロの本部で行う予定になります。 フェーズ1のオンラインプログラムは、その翌週の金曜日から、スタートする予定です。現地プログラムは10月の19日から23日の、週を現状予定しております。こちらの現地プログラムの最終日にフェーズ2にかかる審査を行って、審査結果は10月末頃に発出し、採択された、1社から5社の企業様については、11月から翌年の3月までフェーズ2のプログラムを行っていただきます。フェーズ2の現地プログラムは2月の22日から26日を予定しております。主な対象についてはですね、メドテック、デジタルヘルス、ヘルステック分野の日系スタートアップ及び、研究チーム、創業前の研究チームも、対象とさせていただきます。ステージの、目安として書かせていただいているんですけれども、プレシード程度からシリーズ B 程度を、想定しておりまして、一応、応募の目安として、テクニカルレディネスレベルを用いているんですが、フェーズ1については POC が完了して試作開発や初期的なユーザー市場検証に進める段階 TRL3 以上。フェーズ2については実環境に近い条件で技術検証が進み、製品化、事業化が具体化しているというところを、目安と、設定させていただいております。その他は、国での事業展開や資金調達を検討していることを、条件となります。またですね、応募要件としてその他記載しておりますが、日本に活動拠点のある日系スタートアップであること、すべてのプログラム、現地渡航期間を含むに参加できること、海外展開について意思決定権をお持ちの方が参加可能であること、商談可能な英語力を有すること、アンケート等に協力いただけること、オンラインセミナー等に参加するための設備を、準備が可能であることが、要件とさせていただいております。で、費用負担に関しましては、こちらですね、プログラムの参加費、について提供させていただくのですが、主に現地渡航の費用にかかる渡航費、航空券代ですとか宿泊費、移動費、飲食費、通信費、などの一切の費用、また国内でブートキャンプをする際の移動費など、については、参加者の負担となります。応募方法については、2つ、提出していただく必要がございまして、JETRO のそのホームページから、応募できる応募フォームと、あと英語ピッチ資料の、2つのご提出をお願いいたします。応募フォームについては、ログインした後にフォームが出てくるんですけれども、ちょっと意外と少し質問が多いので、事前にちょっとご確認いただいて、ご準備いただくことをお勧めします。申し込み締め切りは5月25日。ごめんなさい、これ表記間違ってますね。月曜日の日本時間1時までと、午後1時までとなっております。で、こちら、ちょっと簡単になんですが、選考基準としての適切なコース選定ということで、目的に応じた適切なプログラムに参加してくださいというものです。過去に複数のプログラムに目的なく連続的に受講をして、貴重な時間ですとかリソースの分散を招いた事例がございますので、他のプログラムも含めて迷っている場合には、どれが一番適切かというところをご自身の中でも整理いただきつつ、面談することも可能ですので、後ほど掲載する QR よりお申し込みいただければと思います。ということで、もし面談をご希望の方は、左側の面談希望フォームから、面談を、依頼いただけますし、全般的な、お問い合わせ、ご質問に関しましては、左側のお問い合わせフォームから気軽にご連絡いただければ、メール等で回答させていただきます。はい。私からは以上になりますので、ここからパートナー企業であるライフより説明させていただきます。バレンティーナ、I will hand it over to you now. So please start when you're ready.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having me today. So I will be giving you more of an overview of what we do at the London Institute for Healthcare Engineering and why we think we are best placed to deliver this program for JETRO. And then, of course, I will reiterate a couple of important points with regards to the program itself that Harumi just went through. So next slide, please, Harumi. Thank you. So why LAHI was born? This is because we are very well aware of the unique challenges that health tech founders specifically have to overcome in order to bring their product to the clinic. So the current stats in the UK are that, unfortunately, over 90% of the medtech startups, they don't make it to the clinic. And if they do, it takes a very long time, at least 10 years from concept to market. And what are the reasons for that? The reasons for that are that alongside everything that as a founder you have to do in order to set up a business. So all of your operations, your team management, your fundraising, you also need to consider a number of other activities in parallel. One and foremost usually is regulatory. So there is, especially if you are classified as a medical device, there is quite a lot of work that goes into, making sure that you have the right compliance and approvals in order to put your device on the market. Reimbursement. So in medtech and health tech, there is a big difference between who is your customer, which is your patient, and who is your buyer, which is usually a hospital or a healthcare system or maybe a private clinician. So having to make sure that you have a business case that works both ways, and you have a way of getting reimbursed through the system is very, very important and is not trivial. And then on top of that, of course, there is a lot of external influence from, for instance, NHS 10-year plans if you're in the UK, or stronger funding mandates, etc. And very importantly, there needs to be an unmet clinical need, or your device is not going to be adopted, even if you manage to market and put it on the market. So next slide, please. The other thing is that usually the founders that we see, they have some of the skills that are needed in order to succeed in this business, but it is quite difficult that one person only will have all of the skills across technical, commercial, clinical, and all of the business skills that are needed in order to succeed on the market. Next slide, please. So at LAHI, we see acceleration of ventures on both sides of things. So we want the entrepreneur to become more skilled, to learn about fundraising. How do you negotiate with partners, collaborators? How do you fundraise? How do you create a business plan and you demonstrate your cost effectiveness, and you are able to engage with a number of stakeholders, investors, mentors, and other people that might support you with your technology, but also that they would be aware of all of the translational aspects of bringing a product to market. So again, going back to health economics, market access, regulatory, how do you interact with industry partners, and how do you interact with the infrastructure, et cetera, et cetera. We hope that by supporting across the board, then this will accelerate and bring devices faster and more successfully to market and eventually to use in patients. Next slide, please. So why are we best placed at LAHI to do this? Well, we have a unique infrastructure that we can, call upon as needed, that really puts us in a very unique place. So we are part of King's College London. Let's not forget that. So we have a lot of, academic, technical, scientific expertise that we can call upon, and a lot of centers. For example, our manufacturing manufacturing center for surgical devices and active implants, our own internal quality management system, which is certified under ISO 13485, which is the standard for getting devices into market, our AI center and access to a lot of data and a lot of algorithms and software, et cetera. We are also part of an academic science alliance with a number of NHS trust partners. So we are actually based on St. Thomas Hospital ground, just opposite Westminster is the most active clinical research trust in the UK. And we have direct access to all of the patients as we run basically all of the imaging clinical facilities that are in the hospital. We have strong connections with our regulatory bodies here, the MHRA, NICE, which is the institution that looks at health economics and health technology assessment. And we have a number of partners across both the funding landscape, loads of investors, loads of government funding, but also industry partners. Siemens, Medtronic, these are big names that we work with. We've been working with for the past over 10 years, alongside charities like Macmillan Cancer Support, the Royal College of Surgeons, and more. Next slide, please. Right, the building. Well, why am I presenting you the building? The building was designed for a purpose. The building was designed because we strongly believe that having all of the right stakeholders in the same place at the same time that you are able to talk to and you are able to engage with highly accelerates your ability to go to market. So the building was designed to have in the same place all our experts, and I will explain to you who we are, but there is a number of experts at Launchpad on the translational side, on the business side, on the regulatory side, and also to host all of our students. So we start very, very early and we teach them from the start all of the things that I have been talking about around medtech entrepreneurship. We also have an entire floor where we host our SMEs and spin-outs that we work with, either through our programs or through memberships, so they can pay to be there. And then we have another floor where we have all of our industry partner residents there. So Siemens again, Medtronic, and many others that are based in the building just above the SMEs. And finally, we have a great event space on the top floor, which allows us to basically host. I think at the moment we are at over 400 events a year, all in the medtech and health tech space, all relevant to the people that are in the building. And of course, again, we have our investors and our clinicians and all of them that have access to the building and use it on a regular basis. Next slide, please. So this is us. Our director is Prof. Seber Selen. He's a visionary, is a KOL in the world for medtech. And Nicolas Huber is our director of commercial operations and partnership, essentially the CEO of Launchpad, make sure that things run smoothly on a daily basis. Anne V is our director of the manufacturing facility, and Claire is the director of our QMS, as I said before, and all of our regulatory team reports into her. And myself, I'm the head of clinical translation and governance, and everything, all of my expertise is around the clinical evidence generation for medical devices and digital health. Next slide, please. We are supported by a fantastic team, as I said before, of experts. Our internal team is a translational team. We have people that are a background in having worked in startups before, having worked with the government bodies before, investor relations managers, clinicians like Manori is a pediatric nurse, so people that have been on the wards and know what the pain points are. We have experts in health technology assessment, in health economics, in regulatory, and all of the QMS and other bits, including, I don't know, all of the governance for data use in digital health, and et cetera, et cetera. Next slide, please. And then we have a very large network of experts, what we call experts in residence. These are business-minded people. Nearly half of them are experts in digital health. They are UK leaders in that sector. They have different backgrounds, from successful medtech funders who have done it before and have exited for a large amount of money, to leadership coach, operators in the business. So I've worked for J&J, for Medtronic, for Siemens, experts in health economics, again, in regulatory across the board, also outside of the UK and EU, investors themselves, quite a lot of them are investors as well. So they can all support with the more go-to-market strategy, business model, fundraising, etc., etc. Next slide, please. So as I said before, we do run a number of programs. So in the past, we've only been open for 2 years now. So in the past 2 years, we have already run 3 different programs. One more at early stage, so starting for what we call TRL3, proof of concept, for mostly internal people. Our MedTech Venture Builder is our flagship program. It lasts for 12 months and is for TRL4 and above. The other program that we ran was in collaboration with Innovate UK, which is a government funding body. So it was for more later stage commercialization ready companies. We have seen quite a lot of early impact results from this program. Next slide, please. The big number that I want to point you to is the £15 million and above that has been won so far, but by our cohorts, just in non-dilutive funding. So we are very, very good in writing grants and making sure that the story is compelling and we know what our funding bodies want to see. A lot of our companies, the earlier stage one have spun out now and they're doing well. The later stage one have started clinical trials, even multi-site randomized clinical trials, some of them, and they have gone on to do more collaborations to get non-dilutive funding, so seed and pre-seed funding, etc., etc. And that's only basically in the past 18 months. So it's pretty good. Next slide, please. So what we want to do with this program for you guys, for Japan, is really to make sure that we give you a getaway into the UK and European HealthTech ecosystem. There are a number of differences from Japan that are important to take into account and to understand. As I said before, we have the NHS in the UK. It's a similar approach in the EU with national health systems, single payers, very much evidence-driven market. There is a certain degree of complexity in the regulatory pathway, both across the UK and the EU. With quite a bit of clinical validation expectations, depending on the risk of your device. And so it's good to understand what evidence you need to generate and why. And as I said before, all of the reimbursement and procurement barriers, which hopefully by the time of the end of the program, you will have a very good idea on how to overcome those. So next slide, please. We will focus, we have the 2 phases, as Arumi said before. So we will focus in the first phase on really bringing everyone on the same page, making sure that everybody understands how it works here in the UK and in the EU, across all of the different translational aspects of bringing a product, a clinical device to market, but also considerations around how do you incorporate here in the UK, tax implications, what is the investment landscape, which might be different from what is in Japan. How do you engage with the market, and you do your research, and you create your value proposition specifically for this markets. And alongside that, so there's going to be quite a bit of educational, but also expertise and advice from all of our EIRs on a regular basis to make sure that you are progressing and applying what you are learning on the program to your own technology, and also support on the, again, go-to-market business modeling strategy. We will come to Tokyo for the kickoff. We are all very excited for that, and we're bringing all of our experts, so we will be able to do roundtables and to make sure that we understand each company's objectives for the program and priorities, and that we work with them in order to achieve those priorities. And then after the various online sessions, we will host you in London at LIHE for about a week at the end of October, and we will make sure that you meet all of the relevant stakeholders, that you see all of the ecosystems around us, and you have a number of business meetings set up so that you can start your conversations here in the UK. There is a second phase to the program. So during this London deep dive, we will also do the pitching for selecting for phase 2. Yes, Arumi, next slide, please. And then for those that stay at stage 2, that this will be very much an execution part of the program. So we will really all sit down with you, act almost part-time executive for your company, and make sure that all of your objectives and roadmap is really very well defined. And you, by the end of this program, when you are in London, you can start actioning your roadmap to enter the UK and the EU as a market. So next slide, please. As Arumi said, so in terms of cohort numbers, we can have up to 10 companies in phase 1, and then up to 5 in phase 2. As a minimum, we want people to have a proof of concept so TRL, that's what we call TRL3. And the reason for that is that we really want to make sure that what we teach you in a way is applicable and becomes practical to your technology. So if you don't have a proof of concept, it's difficult to have those, real conversations around what will be your path to market, what will be your regulatory, position and all of that. And for phase 2, ideally, we need something that has been already validated a little bit, and we can, start discussing around how can we put this in a clinical study, or can we start looking at operationally implementing this, so TRL 5 or higher. In terms of we are really quite agnostic to funding stage. It very much depends usually on the type of technology and the level of risk and that the technology involves, but of course, so we cover medtech, digital health, and health tech. So what we don't cover is biotech. Really, we're not that specific for bio, but anything in the health tech, med tech space we can do. And yeah, I mean, of course, everything will be delivered in English, so we need participants to be able to speak a professional level of English so that they can engage best with all of us, and able to, of course, attend the deep dives in London, and also being able to do the negotiation, business development meetings, so being decision makers in the company. Next slide, please. This is the final slide, again, reminding everyone how this is going to work. So the call for applications is open until the 25th of May. There is a QR code there if you haven't managed to use the one before. We need an application form and a pitch deck in English, please, so that we can review it on our site too. And then some people will be invited to interview after that. And then we should let everybody know by mid and to June whether they have been successful, and we will kick off phase 1 in July. And that's it from me, I think.
Thank you so much, Valentina. Now, yeah, we will ask for questions, and we got one. Can you see it, Valentina?
I've seen that question, yes, and I'm afraid that no, we wouldn't work on pet healthcare, and the reason for that is that actually quite a lot of the things that we would cover in the program probably wouldn't be applicable to a pet healthcare device. So I don't think that, if we wouldn't be able to add that much value due to the fact that, it's quite different the way that would get approved. There are different legislations, different interactions as well, because there is no NHS in that case. Everything is private. So unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to cover that.
Thank you. そうですね。今回のプログラムでは、支援対象にはならないということでしたが、ジェトロで、グローバルアクセラレーションハブですとか、他の、支援の可能性があるかなと思いますので、またちょっと別途、キャッチアップ、フォローアップさせていただければと思います。では、これにて本日のセミナーを終了とさせていただければと思います。本日、川南様、バレンティーナさん、ありがとうございました。